Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a quick video on how to catch a jeep swing. In my previous video I done a video on how to catch a slow swing, and this is a quick video on how to catch a jeep swing. So quick one, three things you need to consider when catching a jeep swing is the speed of your jeep, which is the speed on your gears, either the first, second or third gear. What to actually factor into consideration is whatever speed you are on your gear will determine what speed you would use to catch the swing. So say for example you're on the third gear and you have to stop suddenly, and you didn't have the opportunity to reduce your speed gradually from the third to the second and to the first to minimize the swing that you might create, then you would have to stop suddenly and then allow the load to swing forward, and then just as the load is getting to the point of return, you catch the swing on the third gear. So say for example you stopped suddenly on the second gear, you would have to catch the swing on the second gear. The second factor to consider is your stopping distance. So basically the stopping distance is the distance that you would have to start slowing down before you get to your stopping point. So your stopping distance is the distance between your stopping point and your point of speed reduction. So basically if you were to stop at 10 meters, your stopping distance will start from about 7 meters. So from about 6-7 meters you would have started reducing your speed to be able to stop at 10 meters. So between 10 meters and 6 meters will be your stopping distance. And then the third factor to consider is the point of return. Your point of return is the point where, say for example you stop and the load swings forward. For every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So say for example your load swings forward, definitely the load will swing back. So the point at which the load starts swinging back is your point of return. So that just before your load starts swinging back, just as your load is approaching the point of return, is when you would actually catch the swing. I'll show you all these things I've just explained quickly in theoretically, or practically rather. So basically that's the hook block, and I'm going to be jibbing towards myself just for a clearer vision so you can understand what I'm explaining. So I'm going to start jibbing up. You can hear the sound of the crane. I use the sound of the crane to know what gear I'm on. So I'm going to jib up on the first gear. That's the first gear. And then that's the second gear. And then that's the third gear. So I'm on the third gear now. I'm leaving it on the third gear, and you can see that my hook block is approaching me. So say for example I was going to stop suddenly. As soon as my load is getting to the point of return, I start slowing again just to catch the hook block before it returns. So say for example you're jibbing up, and then your hook block or your load, you have to stop suddenly, and then you stop. Your hook block will swing forward, and then you come back on the third gear just to catch it before it gets to the point of return. As soon as it gets to the point of return, just before the hook block starts returning, you release the gear back to zero. At that point it will create a stationary motion which will keep the crane in a halt. I'll show you another quick example jibbing down. So that's my hook block. I'm jibbing down now in first gear, second gear, third gear, and then I'm going to stop suddenly. Watch the load swing forward. Just before it gets to that point, I'll go in the third gear. Just before it comes back, I'll release it, and then it catches the swing bang on with no swing. So basically you slow in the third gear, you stop suddenly, the load swings forward. Just before it gets to the point of return, you slow back, you jib down back in the third gear. As soon as it gets to the point of return, just before it starts coming back from the point of return, you release the gear back to zero, and your load stops bang on, no swing. Try this out and let me see how you feel. Send me like this page, like this video if it has been of any help to you, and subscribe to my page to learn more tips on how to operate a crane, more day-to-day tips on how to operate a crane. So just a quick recap to make you understand this video clearly. Basically, catching the jib swing. First of all, I always say how to catch a jib swing is to learn to operate steadily without creating a swing. But say for example a swing is created which is inevitable. Say for example you're in the third gear and you have to stop suddenly. Wait for the load to swing forward. As soon as the load swings forward or backward, whichever one you prefer, just before it gets to the point of return, I'll make another video to explain properly what the point of return is. That would help you to understand this video better. Subscribe to my page so you can know when this video is posted. This will help you to become a safer and a better crane operator. Just before your load gets to the point of return, you start jibbing down again in the same gear that you stopped at. So say for example you were jibbing down in the third gear and you had to stop suddenly and the load swings forward. As soon as it swings forward, just before it gets to the point of return, you jib down on the third gear. Just as it gets to the point of return, before it starts returning, you release it back to gear 0, and that creates a stationary motion which kills the swing. Thank you very much. Hope to see you in the next video. Cheers.